How many strains of cannabis are a lot less byproducts? There's hundreds and if not thousands, almost fully synthesized. Looking at the flower structure, get a very clean vapor. Differences are often described as different sets of characteristics. So one might look at different leaf structures, different flower structures, different chemical compounds that are produced, and these characteristics are called phenotypes. And botanists have been investigating why plants are different for the last couple hundred years and really determined that two things dictate a plant's phenotype. Its set of genes, or its genotype, and the environmental factors in which surround the plant while it's growing. So when environmental conditions like light, temperature, humidity are acting as a selected force on a set of genes, that's what actually drives evolution, and you get novel sets of cannabis-type plants from the interaction of environment factors acting on a set of differences in genes. So because genotypes and environment can produce different sets of characteristics, we can think of a little thought experiment where you have two identical plants, so the same genetic makeup. You put one of them in a tropical climate and one of them in a harsher temperate climate, and the two growth forms that result will be really different. The one in the harsher environment will flower quicker, will be stunted, will likely produce less cannabinoids and terpenes than the one in a tropical environment that can grow longer, has a lot more resources, and will be, as a result, much more potent. By contrast, you can have a different set of genes, so very different plants, and put them in a harsh environment, and the resultant plants will all look the same. They will all produce the same cannabinoids and compounds. So that's the environment selecting on a phenotype. Recent genetic work has partitioned cannabis into 6 different groups based on their genes or sets of alleles. And those groups are hemp, CBD type, Afghani or skunk type, berry type, and then also landrace types. And some of you will be familiar with cannabis that you've consumed from all of those different types except maybe hemp. And so berry types are a relatively new combination of genes. So they'll be sweet smelling, fruity, have more energetic sativa-like effects. Hemp is a tall, slender plant that is mostly fibrous and produces lots of seeds. Landrace are escaped genes that have locally adapted in a given environment, and you might get a lot of rare or novel cannabinoids and terpenes as a result. So every single different classification of cannabis, the resulting plants have very different growth forms, flowering times, and different cannabinoids that they produce.